Well, this week's Beretta update is going to be a little short and sweet. I've been potty training the kiddo, and that's a job in itself. But I did get this LT1 6-speed converted over to LS1 style for the Beretta. And I'll have a video coming up on a whole bunch of transmission information for small block, big block, and LS stuff. So I definitely got to do some trimming to make this truck air intake fit. But it looks like the filter will basically occupy the old engine mount spot. Okay, there's the front floor kind of mocked up. I got to get that big old skip shift solenoid out of here. It's hitting on that right now. But that's not too bad. Got the plug put in the T56 here. This is for the skip shift solenoid that I was getting rid of. It has an O-ring in there, so you don't have to worry about it leaking or anything. You can see I've got about 3 inches from the bottom of that cross member to the bottom of the pinch weld here. So the pinch weld used to be flush with the floor pan itself as the lowest part of the whole car. And I'm going to run 2 1/4 exhaust. That gives me a little bit of room here and should be in pretty good shape. I kind of want to do a single pipe out the back because there is a notch in the bumper cover for a single exhaust, just like the Z26s have from the factory. There's not a notch over here. I could go dual, but I would like to do a single exhaust pipe. One pipe, one muffler, less money. And I might be able to actually do my crossover above the torque arm here, make that work. I don't really have another place where I can do a crossover with the way everything is set up. But where the fuel tank used to be, I got lots of room here. I mean, and this is going to be tighter too once this axle's at full droop right now. But I think I'll still have enough room to do a crossover pipe. It's just going to be a 2 1/4 pipe that's got to go over here. Okay, I measured for my new drive shaft here, and I also test fit my Camaro drive shaft just to see how clearance would be. And I got to do some cutting all the way through there. Ain't going to work. And when I do that, I'll probably cut through here and make this whole tunnel a little taller too. It looks like I'll have plenty of room for the torque arm here. But if I gotta be in there cutting anyway, I might as well do the whole thing a little taller. Actually clean it up a little bit because this much dirt and stuff probably counts as weight reduction once it's clean. I cut the V6 front wheel drive engine mount out of here, and that buys me a little bit more room for the air filter. And when I get the engine and everything back in, I'll see how that fits. I also got the reservoirs mounted for the clutch and brake here. Ran those right through the strut tower. Oh yeah, put the strut back in. So here we have this assembly going on underneath the dash, keeping all the stuff on this side of the firewall since I got no room on the engine bay side of the firewall. And now we have the most important pedal in the car, right here. There we go. That one's a 3/4, 3/4, 7/8. All right here, great success. I had to grind the piss out of this thing in order to get it to work. The truck pilot bearing is out. I think I can even reuse that for the Blazer. And I can put the car pilot bearing in the inner register of the crank. So I did a video a long time ago, and you can see this is the outer register of the crank where the truck pilot bearing goes. And then in here is the inner register of the crank where the car pilot bearing goes. And that's that 400 thou difference that you see between like running a small block transmission and an LS style transmission. So there's my ground up slide hammer attachment, which is only a pilot bearing removal tool now, I guess. And this is the car style. This is the truck style. You can see they just sit in those 2 different registers in the crankshaft itself. This is what I need for that T56, which is why I had to pull the truck one out when I was going to use the 5-speed. Got my steering shaft in from Jegs here, and some eBay Heims for supports. I'm still missing the U-joints from Amazon. They should be here any frickin' day now. And this is the bearing that goes on the firewall. And I can't make this work with one hand. Hang on. There. That's the bearing for the firewall, so whatever angle it comes through, it'll be all good. All right, here I got some more welding done down the rockers on both sides. Marked off where I need to grind the paint off on this, and then on the floor as well. I did get the back half of the floor all scuffed up and tacked in. Still some more massaging to do with the body hammer and whatnot. But the back half is in place for good. And the old man sold his big badass blaster that he's got. But before he did, he had to demonstrate it for the guy. So I got my subframes blasted. Why not? Make it a little bit easier to weld because I've got to do the steering rack mounts in the front up there. And then the back here I want to do that cross brace. Get some more unibody structure. All right, 2002 Chevy Silverado cruise control module here. And this is one of the reasons GM's awesome. 1996 Beretta cruise control harness. Click! Easy peasy. One more U-joint came in, but I still got one to go. Oh, and I found these strut tower bar brackets. So I bought these forever ago, and they didn't quite fit a Beretta. The angle wasn't quite right for the bar to go straight across. You can kind of see here they're angling back. So I never used them on the old Beretta, but I'll fab something up to work with here because there is room to have a strut tower bar that goes across above the top of the engine. Chevy Cavaliers, the early J-body style that had the convertibles and stuff, those actually had a strut tower bar from the factory that fits a Beretta. But those are pretty much extinct at this point. I had one of those Cavalier ones on my last Beretta, but this one will just fab something up. It'll probably be stronger anyway. That's about all the progress for this week. I've got that T56 and clutch and flywheel to throw in there. Tidy up the wiring itself. Get the truck fuse block wired in. Gonna get the floor done. That way I can mock up my pedals. I also got seat brackets for the factory seats. Finish the steering once that last U-joint comes in. Boy, there's still a lot to go.